Hello everyone, this is Guru from Impensus Electronics. As I mentioned in the previous episode, in this episode we are going to look at the most important part in a cold chain, which is storage. Before doing that, let's have a quick recap on what happened in the previous episode. In last episode, I spoke about the second stage in a cold chain, which is transport. In that, we discussed about reefer trucks, reefer containers, what are all the parameters that we need to monitor and control in a reefers during a transit, what are all the NCCD guidelines that needs to be followed for the reefers, and finally, the products and solutions that Impensus Electronics provide in this area. If you haven't watched that video yet, it is there in our playlist, you can watch it anytime. In this episode, we are going to look at storage, and I am not going to do this video all alone. My colleague Mr. Dinesh, who takes care of the technical stuffs in the company, will be joining us virtually. So he'll be helping us to understand the storage part better with his experience in this area. Welcome Dinesh, thanks for joining us today.
Hello, thank you for having me here.
As you know, we are in the 5th episode of the series on post-harvest management. And from day 1 till the last episode, every day I used to tell my audience that storage is the most important part in a cold chain. So can you first explain us why is storage a most important part in a cold chain?
So when fruits and vegetables are harvested, they are taken to the market for their sale. But there is a high chance that all of them would be consumed at the market. So in this case, we need a space to store these fruits and vegetables and then release them to the market as and when the demand arises. So that is why we need a storage space. Secondly, there are many seasonal crops that are harvested once or twice a year, like lemons or apples. So we need a space to store these harvests and then release them throughout the year as per the demand.
Great. So how are we going to discuss this topic? Is it going to be commodity-wise storage or is there any other parameters?
Cold storages can be broadly thought of in two ways. One that does the long-term storage and the other one that stores the commodity for a shorter duration of time. Long-term storage is predominantly used for seasonal harvest, the one that is used to hold the commodity for about 6 to 8 months. Sometimes it is also employed for regular harvests such as potatoes and onions. In short term, it is used to store the fruit for a shorter period of time. They usually act as the buffer unit before they are sold into the market. This is like the distribution centers which are employed by the supermarkets.
Yeah, so before we talk about long-term storage solution, can you please explain us about the physiology of fruits and vegetables? So what are all the metabolic activities happens in a fruit and vegetable once the harvest is done?
Fruits and vegetables are also living beings like us and they respire to keep themselves alive. When they respire, they consume the oxygen from the ambient atmosphere, utilize the glucose present in their pulp and give out carbon dioxide. This process decreases their quality from the time of harvest and over a period of time renders them unsuitable for human consumption. So this is why we need a storage space where these factors affecting the respiration of the fruit is controlled, thereby the quality is preserved.
Great, that's really interesting. So now can you please explain us how a cold room looks like and what are all the process involved in a cold room?
Cold rooms are just temperature controlled units where fruits and vegetables are kept. Predominantly, cold rooms used to have temperature controlled systems for storage of fruits and vegetables. But in order to store them for a longer period of time, we need systems that control other factors such as the respiration and hormonal activity of the fruits and vegetables. One such system is controlled atmosphere system, which controls the oxygen concentration, carbon dioxide concentration, ethylene level, and formation of bacteria and virus to elongate the shelf life of the commodity. Other than CA, palletization of the commodity is also helpful to store them for a longer period of time. In palletization, we have multi-commodities placed in pallets so that what happens is we have multi-commodity storage in a single room possible. So instead of controlling the whole room, we control single pallets of multi-commodity inside the cold room.
Great. Now it is very much evident why one needs to understand the fruits and vegetables in a micro level, like knowing their behavior or metabolic activities once the harvest is done to recommend the right storage solution. So what are all the products and solutions that Impensus Electronics provides? when we talk about long-term storage.
Impensus employs IoT in its solutions to provide long-term storage systems such as controlled atmosphere systems and palletized CA systems. The storage solutions from Impensus are modular in nature, which helps in increased efficiency, usage convenience, and decrease the overall cost of the system. These modules include carbon dioxide scrubbers, ethylene scrubbers, and nitrogen generators. And all these modules are inherently designed to eliminate bacteria and viral formation inside the cold room. So using all these systems, we help elongate the shelf life of the commodity while preserving the quality as it was while it was harvested.
So to summarize today's episode, in this episode we started talking about why storage is an important part in a cold chain. Then we divided the storage part into two, one as long-term storage and another as short-term storage. In this video we explained about long-term storage and followed by the metabolic activities or the physiology of fruits and vegetables once the harvest is done. Following that, we discussed about how a cold room looks like and what are all the processes involved in a cold room. And finally, the products and solutions that Impensus Electronics provide when we talk about long-term storage. In next episode, we will discuss about short-term storage. Until then, goodbye.